And I know a few months ago, Crawford did say that, after he beat Spence, the next thing he wanted to do automatically was go up to 154 and challenge Jermell for his undisputed title. Out of those two, who would you view as the more tougher guy to beat?
Out of Spence and
Jermell.
I think they fight the same. I think they fight the same, So it's just probably fighting brothers.
But there's got to be, as a trainer, there has to be one of them that you're looking at they probably fight a little bit similar, but this guy's probably a little bit more difficult to beat than that guy.
I would give it to Spence, because of what he accomplished in the sport of boxing.
Over Jermell, even though that would be a higher weight, Jermell's also undisputed, beat pretty much every top guy.
But he didn't been beat before, and Spence ain't been beat yet. So Spence you don't have that mindset.
Gotcha.
Right now is the most dominant 145th dominant they got. He done beat everybody in the division that he can. He's steady stepping on top of everything that he could throughout injuries, throughout tragic situations. Look at Earl Spence Jr.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy KB with JusDueBoxing, back with another video, and we're gonna get right into this video. So what y'all just heard, that was the trainer of Terence Crawford. That was Big Bo Mac. Some people would call him Big Mac. And, he was being interviewed by Fight Hype, and he was asked, out of Earl Spence Jr. and Jermell Charlo, which one of those guys you think would be a tougher fight for Terence Crawford? And, Bo Mac went on to pretty much say, they pretty much fight the same. It'd be like fighting brothers. The interviewer went on to ask him, but I know, but, which guy, when you look at, says they just might be a little bit more difficult than the other guy. And he said he'd get at the Earl Spence. And I thought that answer would shock certain people. Not everybody, of course. For some obvious reasons, Earl Spence is just one hell of a fighter, a tremendous fighter. But I said his answer was shocking because, Jermell Charlo is at 154 pounds. And that's a whole nother weight class up. And I'm a firm believer that they have weight classes for a reason. And some would say you would never even know how a fight would play out with, Terence Crawford and Jermell Charlo, because he got to get in the ring with Earl Spence. And instead of getting in the ring with Earl Spence in 2022, we all know he's getting in the ring with David Avanesian, which is a complete waste of everybody's time but Crawford's. I think the only thing he gained from that is another win and a knockout on his resume and another big bag, a big payday. But other than that, I think a fight between Terence Crawford and Jermell Charlo would be trouble for Terence Crawford, just to be straight up and honest with you. They had weight classes for a reason. He already was on record saying, I should have never let me grow into 147. That was already years after he already been in the weight class. So one would say it would be safe to assume if he went up to 154 pounds, it would be logical to think that he would have to acclimate to that weight class before he jumped in there with the undisputed champion at 154 pounds and Jermell Charlo. So like I always say, some things they sound cool when you say it out loud. He gonna knock Earl Spence out, then I'm gonna go up to 154 pounds and knock out your cheerleader. And you seen a little bit of the back and forth with Charlo and Crawford in the video, earlier part of the video. So the beef is there. The distaste and disdain for each other is there. They don't like each other. Charlo's been on record saying he had knocked Terence Crawford out. He better get in there with Earl Spence, or what I'm saying, things like that. So I think that's a fight that if it was to ever happen, everybody would tune in for. But like I said, first things first, let's see if Terence Crawford is going to find a way to figure out to get the business done, to get in there with Earl Spence and give us the undisputed 147-pound fight that we want before he could even think about moving up to 154 pounds. And not only moving up, but then jumping in there with a lion, the undisputed line of 154 pounds in Jermell Charlo. That just would not be no easy feat. That's not something that you could just wake up one day and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to jump up to 154 and go beat up Jermell Charlo. That's not the guy for that. And to be quite honest with you, if I had to pick just right off the bat, if he was to just go right up to 54 and fight Jermell Charlo, I see Jermell Charlo stopping Terence Crawford respectfully. I think Terence Crawford could have some success early because he's just a hell of a boxer. But I think at some point, the skills, the size, the experience of Jermell Charlo would take effect, and I believe he would be able to land the shot that would get Terence Crawford out of there. That's just my thoughts, but it's my thoughts on it. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all surprised by what Big Bomac said in terms of who he felt would be the more difficult fight for Terence Crawford out of Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence, and who y'all got winning either of these fights if they happen. You got Spence beating up Terence Crawford or Crawford beating Spence, and if Crawford moves to 54, do you see him challenging, the undisputed champion and Jermell Charlo and then knocking him out? Let me know what y'all think, man. Get in the comment section, man. Until the next one, we up out of here. Peace.